For many law firms, the most operationally fragile parts of their practice are not litigation strategy or client advocacy, but the logistics that sit beneath them: document authentication, filings across jurisdictions, in-person service requirements, and last-mile compliance tasks that cannot be automated away. Apostille services and field agent deployments rarely make headlines, yet they directly affect case timelines, regulatory standing, and client trust. At Prestige Companies Inc., these functions have quietly become a growth engine. Under the leadership of founder and CEO Jennifer Garland, Prestige has scaled apostille processing and nationwide field agent services into a coordinated infrastructure that supports law firms, corporations, and financial institutions operating across state and national borders. The result is a modernization of work that has historically been fragmented, opaque, and slow, work that, when done poorly, can stall transactions, derail filings, or introduce compliance risk. Services that provide apostilles are located at the junction of domestic legal systems and the international acknowledgement of those systems. Apostilles verify that documents such as corporate records, powers of attorney, and court filings are authentic according to the Hague Treaty when those documents will be used in another country. However, due to the nature of the apostille and the laws of individual jurisdictions, apostille services and processing can vary widely. For instance, each jurisdiction requires different documentation. The time it takes to receive an apostille varies by jurisdiction, and resubmitting documents due to errors can become very costly. Prestige addressed this issue by treating it to an operational approach rather than a clerical approach, meaning that they do not view an apostille as a single, transaction-based request. Instead, they developed a characterized intake procedure for apostille requests based upon the document's jurisdiction and also established workflows with jurisdiction-specific processes. Prestige also developed systems to track apostille processing for firms that move a number of documents through the apostille process regularly. Through the easing of the burden associated with obtaining an apostille, Prestige centralizes its knowledge of the apostille process at the state level and has developed great relationships with the authorities that provide apostilles. Therefore, the firms using Prestige to obtain apostilles will experience fewer guesswork issues, which traditionally has been a major contributor to delayed processing of apostilles. The result of using Prestige's service is that firms using the service will have more reasonable timelines for obtaining apostilles, fewer rejected documents submitted for apostille, and improved visibility into where the document is in the apostille processing cycle. These minor changes collectively amount to several hours of time saved in processing his or her apostille and diminished risk in the process as well. By offering apostille services that help reduce issues when submitting documents internationally, Prestige's field agent network solves the physical realities of legal filings, which can differ widely depending on local markets. The various functions that are performed at the courthouse, such as filing court documents, retrieving records, serving processes, and performing in-person verifications, all still require someone to be at the local courthouse to perform those functions. For national firms, managing work in multiple jurisdictions can be resource-intensive for internal staff. Prestige's network, made up of hundreds of thousands of agents across multiple markets, was created to provide a solution to this through a common-sense approach. Instead of relying on informal contacts within local markets or on single-market vendors, Prestige developed a uniform, hand-selected, and standardized agent network capable of performing the same work consistently from state to state. Prestige's agent network is unique in that it provides the ability to apply consistent service standards, reporting standards, and accountability for all agents, regardless of the agent's location. For law firms, this means a court filing submitted in a rural courthouse will be treated with the same standard of process as will one submitted in a metropolitan jurisdiction. The value of these types of services to legal operation leaders is more about reliability than novelty. Delays in getting apostilles can cause an attorney's closing date to be postponed. Missed filings will leave the attorney's firm exposed to liability, and/or lack of consistent fieldwork will adversely impact client confidence. In the event that firms choose to outsource these functions through a central provider, the firms will not only reduce their internal coordination costs, but they will be able to improve the quality of the execution of these services. Administrative personnel no longer need to spend their time chasing status updates for their attorneys. Attorneys will be able to rely on the fact that they will have logistical assistance so that they can devote their time to substantive work, and clients can expect to see their transactions completed on time without any unpredictable surprises. In volume-related practices such as mass torts, real estate, and financial service litigation, operational clarity becomes even more critical. Prestige has processed hundreds of thousands of transactions and handled thousands of settlement transactions worth hundreds of millions. In this context, scale is not merely about capacity, but also reducing error rates as volume increases. The day-to-day operations of modern law firms are under ever-increasing scrutiny due to increased regulations in both domestic and international law. Mistakes related to apostille requests, filing of documents, or improper service of process can create compliance issues that extend beyond just one case. Prestige has taken a different approach by reclassifying these activities from clerical chores to compliance-related functions. By having standardized documentation, established audit trails, and providing process transparency, law firms can demonstrate to a regulatory agency that they were diligent in their day-to-day operations. In the event of an audit or regulatory investigation, agency inquiry into their compliance. As the company takes on the operational risks typically carried by a law firm, its approach is also consistent with the growing trend in legal services for law firms to be more selective about what types of work they undertake internally versus what they choose to click here and develop strategic partnerships with specialized vendors, who have the necessary infrastructure to handle specific tasks in a highly efficient and effective manner. Importantly, Prestige's transformation does not rely on the latest legal technology trends as much as it relies on its own internal technology to manage their workflows and track items. In fact, the leadership team is realistic about where automation can be effective. For example, apostilles still require the assistance of a human being to provide verification, and the work done by field agents continues to require that individuals be physically present and use their discretion in making decisions. Prestige's primary innovation has been in the way they designed their systems, designing repeatable processes that will accommodate the natural variability rather than attempting to eliminate it completely. By using technology along with human oversight, Prestige has mitigated the risk associated with a fully automated solution being brittle and inflexible. Jennifer Garland's background informs this approach. Before founding Prestige in 2015, she worked as a paralegal within the Washington State Attorney General's office, gaining first-hand exposure to complex litigation and multi-jurisdictional matters. Earlier experience in mortgage operations further shaped her understanding of process failure points and the cost of inefficiency. Transparency, availability, and realism are key components of Garland's leadership philosophy. His leadership philosophy can also be seen through the operation of Prestige's services. Problems are acknowledged quickly and clients receive accurate information without the benefit of an optimistic spin. The internal teams are also encouraged to address issues as opposed to deferring them. This level of operational honesty has been incorporated into the company's value proposition, especially with respect to law firms, who have traditionally engaged in opaque vendor relationships. As law firms expand geographically and clients operate globally, the invisible work of legal operations grows more complex. Apostille requirements evolve. Courts update filing procedures. Compliance expectations tighten. In this environment, firms that treat logistics as secondary risk falling behind. Prestige's growth in apostille and field agent services reflects a broader recognition that these functions are not peripheral, they are foundational. By industrializing tasks once handled piecemeal, Prestige has turned a traditionally low-profile service line into a strategic asset for its clients. The modernization is quiet, but its effects are measurable in faster timelines, fewer errors, and reduced operational strain. For law firms navigating national and international complexity, that may be the most meaningful innovation of all.